everyone. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm here in Clark Angeles. I'll give you a little perspective of where I am. Right behind me is SM Clark, and over here is the main gate Jeepney Terminal, and also over there Hensonville Jeepney Terminal. The Hensonville Jeepney Terminal will use the white jeepney, and then the main gate Friendship Terminal is the beige jeepney. So that kind of gives you a little perspective. You got Fields Avenue right in front of me, and also Narciso Street. I want to just mention a little bit about the people back in Florida who just got smashed by Helene, the hurricane or typhoon, whatever you want to call it. Prayers to your family. And I hope that you guys get out of that mess as soon as you can, and you're covered by your insurance. I know how bad that is. Hurricane Ian damaged my house, and it took me almost 2 years to get a fix. And so once again, my prayers are with you and your family. Yeah, I had made a couple of videos back about a few months ago. Why are young Filipinos leaving their husband once they move to the U.S.? And the other video that I made was, you're crazy if you bring your Filipina to the U.S. Because I had mentioned a gentleman by the name of Paul, and we're gonna do a little interview with him in a little bit. Most of my friends had a very successful relationship with young Filipinos. They would meet them here in the Philippines, they would get married, they would bring them to the U.S. But through vlogging, I've learned that not all relationships are successful. And you know my buddy Pete, he went through a divorce with his Filipino wife. My buddy Darren, he went through a divorce with his Filipino wife. And then now my friend Paul, he went through a divorce with his Filipino wife. I've received a lot of comments where they would say, hey, you're generalizing. You know, you're generalizing that a lot of Filipinos, when they go to the U.S., are leaving their men. No, I'm not, though. I am giving you actual experiences. And now, because I started blogging, I'm finding out that there are a lot of young Filipinos who are leaving their men once they hit the land of opportunity, right? You know, they're trading their old husband for younger men, wealthier men, better looking men, right? And I don't want to go into details of that, but that's a fact. You know, it's just the way life is. The video today is about Paul. I mentioned his name in one of my videos, and the reason I just mentioned his name in one of my videos because I didn't have permission to talk about his situation. But him and I have become very good friends since I made that video about 3 months ago. And I just asked him, Paul, do you mind if I do a little video on your journey and your story? Sure, why not? So that's what this video is going to be all about. All right, so here we go. I'm going to see if I can find him, and then we're going to get this interview started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I've got a special guest with me. We are actually here at Philly's at Angeles City. All right, Paul, my first question to you, right? What you told me in the beginning was you really didn't have much time to get to know the Philippines, right, when you met your wife, right? You were online with her, you talked to her, you came over and visited her, and then you went back home. And then you came back and visited her for another 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you were talking about getting married, and so you kind of rushed things through and brought her back to the U.S., right?
It was after 2 visits from U.S. America to Cebu in the mountains. So we had 2 visits before we started talking about marriage.
Right.
We were together twice, approximately 2 weeks each time, and after that I went home, and then we talked more, and then we hinted around about marriage.
Right.
And I asked her, I said, do you want to come here? She said, yes, I would like to come here. So we proceeded there from that point to the application of the 401k visa, marriage visa.
Right.
And that was a long process.
Now, when you before the first trip that when you came here, how long were you online talking to her before you said, "Hey, I've got to go see this girl"?
Well, it's kind of unique in a way. I saw her and I sent her a message, and my message was, "Do you think you would like to come to America and be in America?"
Right.
And she didn't respond for like 3 months.
Ah, okay. And when did you meet her? You met her on like one of the dating channels, or
no, just online. I forget.
Messenger?
How? Maybe it was Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
I think it was Facebook.
Okay, all right.
So and she didn't come back for like three and a half months. So I kind of forgot about her in a way.
Right.
And then all of a sudden she sent me a message 3 months later.
Right.
And I said, now I remember sending you a message. She said, yes. I said, well, I just wondered why you waited almost 3 months before you came back to me. She said, I only talk to one person at a time.
So she was talking to someone else, and she didn't want to. Well, that's nice. I mean, that's good. Yeah, that's good to know.
And, that made me feel good that she was that kind of a person.
Right. And so you guys didn't date each other. You just basically talked to each other for 6 months, right? Is that what you said? Online.
About that, yeah.
About 6 months. And then the dating process was, you flew here, you were with her for 2 weeks, you flew back, and then you came back and you were with her for 2 more weeks.
Correct.
And then you talked about, now did you go fly back to the US and you say, hey, then we need to talk about her moving, or were you here when you mentioned that and then you started that visa process immediately?
Well, the last time I was here, we discussed it a couple of days before I left.
All right.
And I just wanted to know if she would like to come there and maybe pursue a permanent relationship.
Right.
And she said yes.
Right.
So when I got back home, then we talked more. Then I said, are you sure you want to do this? She said, yes, I do.
Now you mentioned to me a little bit about the lechon, the pig story, where she wanted. What was that? What was the reason for the inviting people to eat the pig lechon?
Oh, yeah. Well, the second time I came here, of course, she lived with her mother and her grandmother and her child. And her grandmother and her mother raised livestock, I guess for a better word, pigs and cows, and they raise them and they don't butcher them to eat them, they raise them to sell them, so they have money for the basic essentials, medication, rice, food, things like that, clothes.
And then so you had this big party, I guess, right? And then you said something like, she asked you, so who should we invite to the party? And you said, well, whoever you want, and about 100 people showed up.
Probably, maybe even more.
That's a Philippine tradition, actually. When you have one of the lechon pig parties, and everybody becomes a relative, and they come and enjoy and have fun, and so it was a good outing, it was a good experience, right?
Great, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that evening I spoke with her grandmother, and my wife talked with him and told her we want to buy the pig. We want to buy it and have a roast pig party and all that. So we rented a little bungalow on the ocean.
Right.
And like you say, I told her whoever you want, and she asked me, can I invite friends? I said, sure, invite whoever you want to.
Okay.
So I had to rent 4 vans for all the people to get there.
Oh, okay, so you had to rent, okay, you bought the pig and then you rent 4 vans to get everybody from wherever they were to the, like a beach resort type of deal?
It wasn't a resort, just like a little bungalow, kind of open air with tables in there. And but after we had the discussion and we went to where we were staying and we came back that morning, they had already butchered the pig They had it on a long stick, and there was a guy sitting there turning it. And when it was done, she'd already invited 100 friends.
Wow.
And what I understand, I asked her, well, who is that? My cousin. I said, well, who is that over there? My cousin. So they have a lot of cousins.
You know, I think you mentioned to me that your ex-wife and the girlfriend at the time is from Moa, right? In Cebu? Yeah. And I asked you this, did you swim with the sardines? And you said you did not swim with the sardines, right? That is the sardine capital of the Philippines. They're everywhere. When they're all should go back to Moa and enjoy Moa. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
You never had a chance to enjoy it. You met a girl and you married her and you brought her to the U.S. and yeah, that was fascinating with your story. That was the reason why I was like, hey, Paul, hang out with me. I'll share, what I know about the Philippines, and you're going to go to Dumaguete with me, right?
Right.
Probably next month, and we may even go and see Pete's house in Iloilo. So Paul's got a lot of friends that surrounding him that to make sure that this time, whatever decision he decides to do, whether he's going to live here or find a wife, or he'll have a lot more information to be able to make a good decision.
Right.
So Paul, you decided to bring her to the U.S. and I got to believe you had strong feelings for her. I mean, you're not just going to do it just because, you want to just bring her. I mean,
Just to be with somebody.
Right, yeah. So I know who you are because we've known each other for 3 months. I can tell the type of person you're. So you started this visa process. How long did that take you?
Close to a year.
Right.
The process, the way it works,
Right.
is I have to be approved first
Right.
before she can do anything. Well, she actually referred me to a person that does this for a living.
Okay.
So that person got with me, gave me everything I needed to do.
Right.
Also probably some paperwork. So, like I say, the first thing in the process of the K-1 visa was I had to be approved through our government first.
Right.
So I sent all the information to Homeland Security. They sent it to someplace in California.
Right.
And then a person, I guess an agent, whatever, started the process of investigating me.
Right.
They wanted to know my total background, where I went to elementary school, to
Wow.
high school, where I went, if I went to college, which I had 2 years of that. They wanted to know all of my past marriages, which I've been married in the past, but I had to prove to them that I was divorced
Right.
for their investigation to be sure that they couldn't proceed without knowing I am not a married man.
Right.
And I can understand that. So after I submitted all the paperwork, it was about 2.5 months or so, they came back to me and said, I'm approved.
Now, how long did that whole process, from the time that you started till she got on the airplane and she was on her way to the U.S., how long did that take?
Right at a year,
A year?
as far as I can remember, yeah.
She comes to the America, right? Your beautiful bride, and you had a great marriage, right? I mean, how many years was that?
Well, we were not really together, but from when we first started to where it ended, it was about 5 years. We were married 4 years, 4 great years.
And you were telling me that you loved that the little daughter that she had. In fact, you still think about her today, don't you?
Very much.
Yeah. That's guys, I've talked to Paul a lot, and I know a little bit. So I'm just asking questions because I wanted to share his story. He did have a beautiful marriage. He loved her. She loved him too. And she had a beautiful child. You were living on the farm in Florida, and you just thought that everything was going great, right? Okay. So, and that lasted for how long? Maybe 4 years, you said?
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah, 4 years. What was the first sign that you thought, oh, maybe something's happening, something's doing that where you felt like, or was there some kind of sign that first thing that started, things that started happening?
I can't say there was a big sign.
Right.
But in the very beginning, I spoke with a knowledgeable person about why young Filipinos come to the U.S. with an older man, why there's so many of them to get divorces.
Right.
And this man told me, well, and I watched the video that he made, and he had everything on the head.
Yeah.
He said, that, you know, you bring this girl out of her environment, out of her country, out of her whole life that she lived in, and out of poverty also. And you bring her to the U.S., and I had a home. I had purchased a home before that. It's okay, Heights, it's not a mansion. So I bring her there. We have a nice home, a good relationship, and we get married. And in the beginning, she was approached by many different men.
Yeah. Oh, she's younger, right? Huh?
Right.
She's in her, what, 20s?
Well, when I brought her here, she was 23 or 24.
Okay, so she's 24 years old, and you were 60, you were in your 60s, right?
Right.
So she was almost over 30, almost 40 years younger than you.
Yep.
So, you know, like I said, the older, the bigger the gap. Now that girl's in the U.S. and she's being influenced by younger men, but you know, she didn't come here to leave you. She came here because she loved you and she was trying to make this scene whole. But, and I mentioned on video, you start noticing these little influences that happen to her.
The first year she was here, she shared with me about her incidents with men that wanted to be with her.
Right.
And there was like 4 different ones in the first year.
Wow.
And I guess she basically told them, no, I'm happy, I'm married. But this person that I spoke with about that, he said, you know, eventually the greener grass on the other side would eventually get to her. And I wondered then, I said, well, why is she not sharing those things with me anymore?
Right. Yeah, she's being influenced by the environment that you put her in. Is what happened, right? And that's why I made the video where, if you can, don't bring her, marry her, love her. She's your wife. Especially if the age gap is big. The 2 success stories that I had of my friends, their age were not that far apart. Johnny Carter and his wife, their age difference was about 5 or 6 years. Brought her to the U.S. and they're still together today. Ray Oliver, who have a really good relationship, their age gap is about 15 years. And you know, it's a little bit closer, and they're still together today. And I'm not saying that all Filipinas, you know, will marry someone and then be influenced, because I know there are older men, 30, 40 years older than their wives, and I've gotten messages from them and comments on my channel say, hey, we're 30, 40 years apart, and we've been together for 10, 15 years, and we're still happy.
Yep.
Right? This video is about Paul and his situation. Yours could be different. Now that you've gone through all that, so what are your plans now that you have your second chance to, you know, maybe to find that special someone again? Or what are your plans? What are your plans?
Well, you're right. My intentions are to come here and live. I know from time to time I'm going to have to go back to the U.S. for different reasons, or maybe you know, income tax, and I have my home for sale, and I have to go there and close it out. But as far as coming here now, and I would like to finish my dream, which my dream was to meet somebody. I've thought about this for many years.
Right.
And I've talked to people who have came here and met young ladies and got married, and they were happy as they could be. So I said,
Right.
that's what I'm looking forward to that, because
Right.
I've been through divorces also.
Right.
But that was my goal.
Right.
And then when I finally got her here and things went bad, and she had to make a decision about, I'm thinking this, I don't know for sure, but man, do I want to proceed and go venture out with all these other opportunities that I can have? But as far as my thoughts, yeah, I'm here. I would like very much to meet a young lady and be happy, but I don't think I will ever bring her to the U.S., even if she's close to my age.
Right.
But there's a lot of good people here.
Right, right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people here that want the same thing I want. As for
right. So you're gonna take the path that I mentioned in my video, is to, you want to move to the Philippines, and if you find your special someone, you're gonna live with her or marry her, and you're gonna keep her in the Philippines.
I think so.
Yeah, because you went through that situation.
Well, I think I didn't know all the things I know now about doing that.
Right, right.
But after sharing information with you and other friends, a guy by the name of Darren, he's a good friend. He shared some of this with me about doing that. So I probably will not ever do that again.
Right, right.
But the way I feel right now too, she's still in my heart. Her daughter,
yeah.
We became close because she never had a father.
Right.
And then when she got there, you know, I took her to school, I took her to daycare, I would pick her up, and she would say, "Can we stop at dollar store? I want to buy some fake fingernails."
Right, right.
So we became pretty close. And I remember when Marty decided she was going to move out, and I remember her daughter coming out of her bedroom crying.
Yeah.
She went to her mom crying. She didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So that was tough for her, tough for me, but I'm here. I'm looking for a new start, and I hope she's happy. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, she made some decisions. She may have been sorry for some of the decisions, but she knows she has to live with it now.
Right. Yeah.
But in a way, I'm here to look for that, follow up on that happiness that I had with her. But in a way, I feel a little guilty in my mind, thinking I'm going to come here and find another person, because I still have some pretty good feelings for her.
Yeah, I mean, she was not, I mean, you know, the whole thing is that when I make these videos, I say, hey, don't bring your wife to the U.S., she's going to leave you. It's not, I'm not trying to bash the Filipina, you know, it's just human nature, right?
It just happened, but she has met some friends in America, Filipino girl, I think like four different people, and the Filipino girls are married to American men, and they're together forever, it seems like.
Yeah.
They're happy.
Well, Paul, all I want to say is good luck on your new journey, right?
You know, like I say, I feel a little guilty of what I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing, because I still have feelings for her.
Yeah.
But I know I have to go on with my life, and I want to go on with my life, and I want to meet somebody, be happy, and same thing with her. I hope she is too. So,
Right, right. Well,
I'm okay with it now, because I'm headed for my new life too. So.
well, I think you'll have more information. Hopefully you'll make a better decision with a lot more information now. And, you know, we're going to be following your story. I mean, you know, when I first met you through Darren, and we had that pizza. Yeah, Bogey's in Venice, Florida, and I was just, I mean, I felt for you. I mean, I was like, man, he didn't have to go through this, but you know, because you were going through you had just gone through the divorce when I met you, right? Wasn't it? Or was it being finalized, I think?
Yeah, it had been finalized.
Okay, it had finalized when I met you.
Only like a week before I met you.
Okay, all right. So, and then when you told me your story, I was like, gee, you know, I need to, and that's when I made my video, because I gotta let people know that, you know, things like that happens all the time, and it doesn't have to happen. And all right, Paul, I want to thank you. I really do. I want to thank you for sharing your story with my subscribers. Hopefully that someone will get something out of this, and that they can learn from this. For me, making videos is all about helping people, and I think your unique story will help someone that's watching our channel. So once again, I want to thank you for taking the time out and allowing me to make this video, and then we can go and have some fun. We're still here. We're here for another day or two, and But once again, thanks for sharing your story.
Okay, thank
We'll see
you.
All right, buddy.